This might be some of the biggest, most exciting MCU news we've had in a while, friends. In a while. Welcome back, everybody. This is massive. This is like SDCC levels of news, I feel like. And initially, I wasn't going to report on this because it is based on leaks, and I don't really like to talk too much about leaks because, I mean, it's kind of messed up that they exist and it can kind of ruin things for people. So just full warning with this might be super spoilery for what we're getting in Secret Wars. Like, y'all, we may have landed a gold mine of potential secrets for this film. It's pretty big. So if you don't want things to be spoiled for you, which I totally understand, this might not be the video for you. I just want to say that because I know some people feel mixed about it, and I am one of those people as well. Also, obviously, like, how did we get these images, and should this even be released? Obviously, they didn't want us to see it yet, so there's also that. And the other disclaimer I just wanted to give you guys is that this is concept art for Secret Wars that we're talking about, so keep in mind, let's not get too attached to our theories here, because things can change. It's just concept art, and concept art is concepts, so it doesn't mean that it will come to be. All of this could just be thrown in the trash. Especially with now the fact that it was leaked, it might be all thrown in the trash if they want to surprise us, because some of these surprises will have been kind of ruined. So yeah, but let's talk about what these are, what these pieces are. Did I already say my name? I'm Amanda. You can call me Vamp, in case I didn't say that, in case you're new here. Hello, welcome to the channel. So what's happening? Well, the other day we got these leaked images that are apparently concept art from Doomsday, which is also wild because there's a lot of stuff that connects to Secret Wars here. Granted, that could mean that Doomsday will be the beginning of Secret Wars, and then of course Secret Wars will be the ending of Secret Wars, the conclusion of Secret Wars, if you will. These concept images show various different characters in different scenarios in different locations, so there's a lot to analyze here. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Just these amazing Doomsday concept images. I guess I'll start with this picture of Doom sitting in his chair. What's going on with this? Well, I will say this is very much giving God Emperor Doom vibes, this image. Now, if you don't know God Emperor Doom, have a seat. It's a great story. It's a little story called 2015 Secret Wars. For those that don't know what Secret Wars is, God Emperor Doom is one of the main characters of Secret Wars. He rules this place called Battle World. But how does that all come to be? Well, what ends up happening is because of all the incursions, which is basically all these different universes smashing up against each other, destroying each other, our heroes are trying to stop it, they can't figure it out. At the end of the day, Doom is the one that ends up figuring out a way to save all of the multiverse. He does this by confronting the Beyonders, taking their power from them, and then using that power to build a patchwork world known as Battle World, where each realm is kind of like a different universe that was smashed, if you will. So that is who God Emperor Doom is. He uses that power to rule everything. At least we think that's what's going on, because what we really find out later is that the power that he has from the Beyonders is not exactly his alone. We learn that Molecule Man is actually heavily involved in Doom being able to do any of this, but we'll talk more about that later. This is something we knew was probably going to be happening. We have RDJ, who's going to be playing Doom in the MCU, and this is definitely, I think, the direction they're going to be headed in. So we have that image. There's not much else going on in it. I mostly just wanted to tell you a bit about Secret Wars and why this image is so significant, why people are possibly freaking out, even though, you know, there's not a lot of other people in this picture or anything like that. I mean, he's sitting in the throne. He's definitely looking like God Emperor Doom here. Moving right along, we have a picture of what appears to be Hulk, She-Hulk, and Skarr, who, if you watched She-Hulk, Skarr was introduced in She-Hulk. He is Hulk's son, well, from Skaar in the comics, though it's a bit different, Skaar in the comics and what goes on there. But essentially, Hulk, when he is sent away from Earth, which instead of him choosing to leave Earth in the comics, he actually is forced away from Earth by the Illuminati. He ends up on Skarr, he fights as a gladiator, and then he gets involved in this rebellion, meets a lovely lady who is a strong warrior. Kyera, I think is her name, and they have their son, Skarr. But before Skarr is born, the whole world gets blown up because the ship that Hulk came in explodes, it destroys everything, and then Hulk goes back to Earth and wants to fight all of the Illuminati because he blames them for the loss of his wife and son. But it turns out Skarr survives. He fights and he ends up making his way back to Earth, and then he's mad at Hulk for leaving him. Although oddly, he has a really cute relationship with Bruce, but I digress. So that's Skarr who's here, and if you missed She-Hulk, he shows up at the end of She-Hulk. He seems to have an arrow through him, but what I like about this scene is that there are tons of other Hulk figures in the background. It seems very fantasy inspired. It's giving a bit of 1602 vibes, to be honest with you, and no one seems concerned that Skarr has an arrow through him. So whatever's going on here, I have to imagine that while Hulk and She-Hulk look a bit concerned, overall, this maybe isn't anything too big to worry about, Skarr having an arrow through him. I don't know what's going on here, but my guess would be in this realm that Hulk and She-Hulk are maybe the two who are ruling it together as cousins, and that maybe Skarr is also obviously part of the royal family, and they rule this realm, which would be ruled still under God Emperor Doom, if that makes sense. They would basically be reporting to him. I wonder actually if Skarr's coming in here because he found something out about God Emperor Doom not being the be-all end-all that he says, but I don't know. That's just me I'm really getting wild with it now, so let's not get too wild. Let's move on. The next image that we have here is Doom sitting upon his throne in what appears to be a throne room. There's a gathering of nobles in the background, once again giving some 1602 vibes, despite the fact that I feel like Doom's look in the first photo that we saw on the throne looks kind of has a modern fantasy vibe to it. It's kind of a blend. So what I wonder is this just going to be 1602 kind of inspired, or is this going to be like a real patchwork world? Because we haven't seen a ton of very different places thus far. The throne room has some interesting elements to it. Let's talk about the left of the picture. So on the left of the picture, we appear to have Doctor Strange. Now, if you know Secret Wars, in Secret Wars, Doctor Strange is basically Doom's right-hand man. He is his sheriff. He looks over everything and is like the arm of the law. And I also love that even in this concept art, he is on Doom's right side. So that seems like Strange might have a similar role in this film if we go with this concept. And then on the left, there is a noble looking lady and a little noble looking kid, which some people are thinking could be Susan Storm and Franklin Richards, or, you know, Franklin Von Doom. However, we don't really have that connection yet between Doom and Reed and Doom and Sue and the Fantastic Four, and all of that stuff hasn't happened yet. So if that is true, we are assuming a lot about what Fantastic Four first steps and Doomsday is going to establish in the MCU. So I think it could also be possible, and this was something I talked about when they announced that RDJ was going to be playing Doom, is wouldn't it be cool if RDJ was just an alternate version of Tony Stark who becomes Doom, as opposed to being Victor Von Doom? Because, you know, they have the same face, so if we play with that at all, it could be kind of fun. However, we may also never see Doom's face, so it might not even be relevant that they look the same. It might not get referenced to, but it was an idea that I had that I thought was cool. Of course, at the SDCC reveal, they did refer to him as Victor, so maybe not. But he could also be an alternate version of Tony who just happens to be named, you know, Victor Von Doom. Who knows? Who knows? So in that case, it could be possible that that lady is actually Pepper, and that that's their son together or something like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going crazy. The other thing I wanted to point out is on the far right of this image, the lady who's holding the chain for the man who's being presented, who kind of looks like Clint to me, by the way, but I'm not saying it is Clint. I'm just saying roughly. That lady who's holding the chain, though, was giving me a bit of Victorious vibes. Now, if you don't know Victorious, she in the comic has often been, in the main continuity, Doom's go-to warrior lady who does a lot for him. However, this probably isn't Victorious, because that would be a pretty deep cut. We haven't really talked about Victorious or introduced her at all in the MCU, at least not at this point, unless they're going to do something with her, I guess, in first steps, or I don't know. So it's probably Yelena. I mean, you see the braid, definitely looks like Yelena, and Yelena's a character we've already been introduced to through the MCU, so that's probably who it is. But hey, I would love if it's Victorious. You know me, I love a deep cut. I would love the cut of that jib if that is what we got. This next image I love. It is our Young Avengers image, if you will, my friends, and I think you will with me. To the far left, we have Wong, and you know me, I love Wong. If you don't know this about me, I'm a big Wong fan in the MCU. I love Benedict Wong. I think he does such a good job with this character, and he really made me more interested in the character in the comics. So yeah, I love when we get a Wong appearance anywhere. I just feel like he's such a fun character. Then of course we have Star-Lord, who is played by Chris Pratt, who is here. There's a lot of candles at this table too. Can I just say, candles and drinks. At the table, we've got Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. We've got Cassie Lang, and then next to her appears to be Tommy, aka Speed, Tommy Maximoff, or Tommy Shepard, who is the reincarnated son of Wanda and Visions. And then next to him appears to be, of course, Billy Kaplan, Billy Maximoff, aka Wiccan, who we've seen from Agatha all along. And then one of my favorites, Kamala Khan, who looks like she is just having the time of her life listening to Wong talk about whatever he's talking about. Such a good Kamala face, just so keen. So happy to be there. Kamala Khan, of course, being Miss Marvel, who we saw in the Miss Marvel show and in The Marvels. This is where it gets really weird and really great. On the far right of this image, we have Doop. For some reason, Doop, D-O-O-P, by the way, is how you spell that if you want to look him up. He's a lovely little weirdo who is often mutant related, not officially a mutant. We don't know what Doop is. Is he an alien? Is he a mutant? What is he? He's got crazy powers. He's got Hard Eyes powers. He can make people like fall in love with him. He can break the fourth wall. He can break through panels in comics and travel through the sort of negative space of a comics, the gutters of a comic, which is insane. He can shape reality. I mean, Doop does crazy stuff, but is basically just a floating green ball. We don't know about Doop, really. He's just there, and he's fantastic. And I'm so glad that finally the MCU has acknowledged one of my favorite characters from the X-Men comics, Doop. And then we have some more images as well. So we've got an image of White Vision, who seems to be sitting on a couch with Star-Lord in just what looks like an average home setting. There's a lot of cabinets in the background of this. I don't know why there's so many cabinets. They seem to be having some pizza. There's some bottles on the table. They seem to have been having a good time. And Vision seems to have a remote and is flicking through channels. So I don't know how White Vision and Star-Lord came to be in the same place or what's going on with them, but they look like they're having a nice chill time right now, to be honest with you. We haven't seen White Vision since the end of WandaVision, and I've really been wondering, what are we doing with that? So it's nice to see it at least acknowledged in this concept art, whether or not it comes to be. There's also another image that appears to be of an alternate Black Panther. Of course, I had heard that Black Panther was being recast, and I was wondering, how are they gonna bring Black Panther in? Obviously, we know from Wakanda Forever that T'Challa had a secret son with Nakia, and we meet that son in that film. Some people are theorizing that this could be a grown-up version of their son, either, you know, from a future time period or from an alternate reality. This is like what their son grows up to be, or I don't know if we have a major time skip, also possible. However, I think something that's interesting with this one is in the second image where we have Black Panther seemingly suited up. Unless these are different Black Panthers, which is also possible, both of these characters are actually Azuri. Because the second image is giving me more of an Azuri vibe, to be honest with you, with his curved blade. Now, if you don't know Azuri, he's going to be the Black Panther that we're going to be getting in the Captain America game, which I feel like everyone has forgot is happening, including me for a while there. But that is a thing that's happening. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, which is going to be the Captain America Black Panther game. We haven't heard anything about it for a while, but this picture of Black Panther suited up, because he's got the kind of scythe blade. Typically Azuri fights with two scythe blades and I think sometimes a shield. So this is giving me Azuri vibes. I don't know. These are thoughts that I have, but it's giving Azuri to me. And then finally, we have this very mysterious image. I really don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. It's a man sitting in a pool in chains. He's got his hands above his head, and water is maybe coming down on him, or energy is coming off of him, or both. This, to me, is giving a little bit of Molecule Man vibes. Remember when I said before that Dr. Doom is using the power from Molecule Man to maintain everything here? That's how he's doing it. And Molecule Man is actually being hidden away. He's like underneath everything, hidden below. And what ends up happening is Reed and I think Miles Morales Spider-Man go and end up finding him and setting him free. That's when Reed and Doom have this epic battle, and ultimately Molecule Man chooses to give his power to Reed. There's also a really cool moment in that fight where basically Reed gets Doom to admit that Reed would have done a better job if he had the power. While they're fighting, they have this conversation, and it's basically because of that Molecule Man gives Reed the power. So it's also just a really smart fight, not in just the fight itself, but also in the conversation that's happening during the fight. It's a really great fight to read. If you have a chance to read it, go read it. If you have Marvel Unlimited, go check it out over there. Or if you don't, go to your local library, grab a copy of Secret Wars, give it a read. So it's giving a bit of Molecule Man. However, the beard that I'm kind of seeing on this guy, it's very sketched, so it's hard. We don't have a lot of details. Could be maybe an older Reed who's being imprisoned down here, because we might not be following Secret Wars to the T, so Reed might not be in a raft. I don't know what's going to be happening with that. Or, other thought, the robes could be Strange, who betrays Doom and gets locked up. But why is he in a pool? That's my question. I don't know what the pool is about. Honestly, this is something, don't even take what I'm about to say. Don't listen to it. Let it go one ear and out the other. But for some reason, this image reminds me of Age of Khonshu in the comics. Not for any specific reason, though. I don't think it's connected to that at all. It's just reminding me of that. I just wanted to say that. You're all gonna now say I'm weird for saying that, but I gotta be honest with you. And that's just the thing. That's just the thing I thought of when I looked at it. I don't know why. Final image is 3 concepts together. So we have the Black Panther image with him in the cloak. We've got the Hulks. And then we have this image at the bottom, which is new, which is Doom in the throne room with, it looks like, Strange. And it looks like maybe a similar scene to what we had before, if not the same scene, but just a different angle. There's nothing really new there that I see. So it's just a sketch. So that's everything that we got in this. A lot. Honestly, a lot. I've been theorizing about Young Avengers coming together for a long time. So to see that that's what they're thinking of doing is really rewarding to me. The fact that Doop is here is insane. It's insane. I'm so happy about Doop. I can't even put it into words, guys. Why? I don't know. I love it. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this. Everyone else was talking about it, so I felt like it was probably okay to be talking about it since everyone else is doing it anyways. And I just saw things that I noticed people weren't really talking about, that I felt like there was some knowledge that I could give you guys, that I could share with you on my theories that some people haven't been delivering. But I would love to know what other people are saying, what you are saying, what you think. If there's something in here that you feel like I missed, that you noticed that maybe I didn't, I would love to hear about that down in the comments. Let me know what you think of my theories on this. Remember that these are concept images, so it doesn't mean that they're going to be in Doomsday. It doesn't mean that they're going to be, necessarily one for one with Secret Wars or anything like that. We don't know. So just also keep that in mind. Let's not get too attached to our theories. Let's keep our feet grounded. And Marvel and Disney, if you're watching this, please don't get mad at me or hurt me for talking about these leaked images. I'm just really excited for what you're doing. I really like your stuff. I promise. I'm not a threat. And speaking of Marvel and Disney, if you guys haven't seen, I have been talking about old school MCU. And if you'd like, you could check out this video here where I talk about one of the older films. Highly recommend it. All right, that's all I have for this one. I'll see you next time. And until then, friends, or until Kevin Feige comes with his sniper to take me out for talking about this, stay nerdy. Bye.